Okay, let's see what we got here. This is a subscribers. That is a 2002 GTX DI. Maintenance codes and won't go over 30 because it's in limp mode, I'm assuming. So only thing we can do is Seadoo Pro it and see what's going on. Oh, and apparently the dealer says they can't read the computer. So that is something different. Got an extra computer right here. Let's get the seat off and have a look. Same disassembly as the other ones. Very stinky. Ugh. Has like a rodent smell. Puh. Not liking that at all. That cover isn't on right. That one is. Oh. That's off. So that'll give you a maintenance light for sure. We got oil, yeah. Okay, now we get the Seadoo Pro. Little verification of the complaint too is when I put the tether on, it's flashing maintenance right now, so there's definitely something disconnected somewhere. We're gonna hunt. Let me just see here, is that plugged in? Yeah, appears to be. Okay. Now we'll hook up the Seadoo Pro. And now we gotta put the tether on for the read. Desk post is loose too. Ah, no maintenance right now. It's probably because that cap was off. DI faults. Starter relay failure. Diagnostic cap. Is there any active codes? Inactive, inactive. No codes. Vehicle. Intake pressure good, volts are good. Normal key. Monitor gauges right at 12 volts. The relief works. 14. Why is that drop down? Let's do some investigating. Put the diagnostic cap back on. Let's see if we still get a maintenance light. None. The only thing I'm not sure is if the map sensor drops down. It might make sense because it's drawing air in there, so I think we need to take this thing for a test drive and verify what exactly is going on. So let's do it. All right, the battery, I charged it up overnight, tightened the positive battery cable that was loose, and put the diagnostic cap back on. So let's take this down to the water and see what it does. Guess I need a tether. And it's all knotted up. All right, let's see. Reverse. Oh yeah, that's a much better start. Not seeing any gas gauge reading. Guys obviously messed something up with that. I think they played something beeping. We'll see what's going on with that after. That's what's it's not liking. perfect. That's what the beep is, though. Whatever the dealer did messed up the fuel. Fuel level. That fuel pump they put in is no good. Okay, so if you want to know when your fuel pump is bad, this is the classic symptom of a bad fuel pump. Forget the beep. And she'll just chug and won't go. That took me forever to figure that out, what was going on. But if you test the fuel pressure, you'll find that'll be too low. So now we know what the customer complaint really is. So there you have it. That's the symptom of a bad fuel pump. I see something that was cut here. I don't know whether that was to test pressure. And maybe we can test the pressure on it. Maybe we'll do that. I'm just going to open this cover up here, take all these plastic retaining clips out, have a look in here and see if surgery's been done. So let's pop those out. Super easy access, eh? Got to pull every clip. And then the guy didn't put the vent back in too, so someone's been in here. One. And there we go. What do we see? Fuel pump is right in there. You got a clamp on there? Yeah. Okay. Now I gotta find out if it's ever been replaced. Since the line's been cut already, why don't we put a T on it and check the pressure. Clamp wasn't even tight. Might still be hard to get that off the barb fitting they got on there. Not bad. And I have a T. Now to get that out of there. I don't know what tool to use for that. Oh, it's on there good. Okay. Oh, caught myself. Hee hee. Okay. And the tether. Oh, I got one here. See, there's a fuel filter, and that's from a new fuel pump, assuming that it's in there. That's leaking somewhere. Let me tighten those fittings. Let's fire it up and see what we get here. Decided to bring it down to the water so we can run it a little bit and see what's going on. I find it mysterious that fuel pressure drops off instantly. That's kind of weird. Comes up and falls off. music. We're back in the garage again. I don't know if you could hear me or not out there, but you could see the pressure dropping off. It's supposed to be 107. I don't trust this gauge, but you can tell every time I accelerate, that drops right off. So we're losing the full fuel pressure. I think I need to make a call and find out whether they replace the pump or not. And then we'll go from there. But we're definitely losing the pressure out of here, so you pretty much know there's a problem with the fuel pump. Definitely something messed up in here. Even just to fix the fuel gauge, this has got to come out. But there's more going on. There's it bent. Come on, baby. Where's this clamp? Is that a zip tie? Fudge. I don't know if I like that. Installed with a zip tie, eh? Okay. That's not good. Power and so it doesn't fall in the bilge. I don't think you can put fuel lines on with a zip tie and expect to maintain pressure, so that in itself could be part of the problem. Two left. One left. No washer. I need a rag for sure. See anything with this clip here not right? That's why the fuel gauge wasn't working. That would explain why they have no fuel gauge. I could even plug that in and plug this back in the machine and see if we get a gauge. There we go. I just pulled the top off. And she's brand new. No restrictions that I can see are here. Bottom one's a vent. Let me power that up and see if it makes any weird sounds. I've done everything. There's a little plunger you can push in there, a little check valve. And no matter what, I can't stop it, seal it. I don't know if you can hear it, but it does not seal. And I have an older one, blow through it, nothing. So I could pop that old one in there and see how the machine runs, and then we know. We can try it. Okay, so I got to put a little bit of paste on. Oh, I put the old pump in there, the old one that I had. Connect up some wires. Definitely want to solder that. Trim that off. And my shrink. Shrink them. There's the joint. would. Okay, now that plugs in. Whoop, you're still hot. Ha ha ha. All right. This can only line up one way. Because they're the two tabs. This thing is all messed up. This bottom goes up there. See, it doesn't want to stay in. Let me do some work. Not thrilled with that at all. It won't stay in. I'm going to do a test. I want to do a half decent test. Squeeze the tabs. Oh boy. That's a fight, eh? There we go, fighting wires. The holes only line up one way, so why do I think that's still not right? Now, no, it's there. What the heck? Oh, just needed a quarter turn and she dropped right on. And reverse process. Left hand. And I gotta leave room to get the top one on. Good. And this one. Just no way to get at it like that. I'll have to get a socket. Let's see if she even runs. Gas gauge. Okay, let's take it to the lake and see what we get. This is just an experiment. We definitely will get a new pump. Well, after bouncing around the bay, now we got a maintenance light, so let's go read the code. Atmospheric pressure sensor out of range. And intake pressure sensor. Would they just be dirty, the connectors? And why would there be a maintenance light on, which there isn't now? Let me just check something. Well, no maintenance code. It's two things like that that you see together. It's usually something in the wiring harness and not two bad sensors at the same time. Shutting it off and starting it again. No codes. So it doesn't like to be shut off and turned back on like that. Why is that? Never seen that one before. And then that'll be stuck in limp mode. Intake air pressure. I'm going to wiggle this top connector. Uh-huh. Now it's 14. How come? What's changing? Have I got a bad connection? Now it's holding. So when I'm bouncing around, it's something to do with the connector. This top connector here I was wiggling and it would jump up and down. Let me see if I can get it back to 2. Okay, that connector there is the one I was wiggling. I have wiggled it. I've cleaned the connections. I have pulled, one of the wires was loose, put it back in, got it to clip in. I have done everything. If you bend it over like this, I put a zip tie on it to hold it. Otherwise, every once in a while, it'll randomly drop out. So I think what we're gonna do is test that and see. It's not the ideal fix. I don't know, I guess maybe I gotta change the connector. It's weird, you'll just wiggle it just ever so slightly and the map sensor drops right out, and that throws out the temperature sensor and the air pressure sensor. So I don't know, if that works, we'll run with it. Here we are at the lake, trying it again. Well, it's running. Wouldn't run when we parked it. Oh, it's still rough. Whole day. She's honking. That weird. So is that plug again going bad? Come on. Limping her back. So idle won't go. And back in the garage again, believe it or not, still didn't work. Now I don't know if it's the fuel pump that I put in crapping out once we get going. I wiggled that connector, didn't seem to have any effect. Take it off, put it back on. So we might have two things going on here. I'm not sure. So I'm gonna hook up the pressure gauge and we'll check the pressure while we're driving. Pressure. So stable. Pressure. Does seem like it's dropping off. Oh yeah, look. So that pump went bad Oh yeah. So that pump wasn't any good. Huh. That's totally what it is. That pump works good till it gets hot or warms up and then goes bad. But at least we know. And back at the garage again. I'm not going to leave that wiring harness the way it was with the zip tie. I've ordered a new pump. That'll be here later on this week, which will be just a few seconds for you. But for now, I want to address that wiring issue there because that's going to throw a diagnostic code. So let's get this. And Seadoo. So we'll get set up again, wiggle the wires, see if we can get this thing resolved once and for all. And there we are, just cutting the zip tie, and it's reading 9, and that's supposed to be 14. Now I'm going to wiggle the wires. Ah, boy. How do I figure out which wire it is? Well, I'm going to keep wiggling wires till I find something. And I might spray some deoxit in there too, which I just picked up. And this stuff is pretty awesome. Spray some of that in the connector, see if that has any effect. And my favorite stuff. Wipe that off, blow it out. I see there's a loose wire in that connector. And it's this red, or yellow with red stripe. And it does not want to stay in proper. You look at the movement. I don't know if you can see it or not, but that's not right. Okay, let's see if that changes anything. .6. That's not right. Well, after messing with this thing for like half an hour, see I got the zip tie back on there. What's that crud? That's just grease. The only way I can stop that voltage from dropping out at pressure is by putting a zip tie across. So there's something messed up with that connector. And because the clip is broken off, the retaining clip, I got to put tension on it or it loses its connection. So the only other thing is to depin it all and put a new clip on there, which we're not going to do right now. So hopefully for testing purposes, that does not give us a diagnostic code. On to the fuel pump. Okay, here we are a couple days later. New Quantum fuel pump. Totally different on the bottom. This one seems heavier duty, but they're both Quantum. I'm not sure if that was the right one for the job or not. This is the one that I put on my other RXDI and it worked mint. That's the model they called for, HF342DI. So that's what we're putting in. So I pulled the housing back out. You didn't need to see that over and over again. And now, pop her apart. Oh yeah. me get a container to dump some of that fuel in. I don't know what the story was with this one. See, this one and this one are the same, so I don't know why they have a different style. Okay, let's clip some wires. See what we're dealing with. Set that to the side. This goes on here. And we need this. No, it's got to go in from the top. Oh yeah, I ran into this before. There we go. Don't know what happened with this one. But you can't blow through it, and that one you can. So now we got to get that pump to seat in that. So you've got the pin and that hole. Let's just see if we can figure out. It's too hard to see whether you're aligned or not. Does this come out? That doesn't make any sense. Something weird. That one that was in it is different. So I popped this out of here. Now this goes back in here. Somehow. And then we should be good to go. If I can get it in there. Man, that is a snug fit. Like a glove. If we can just put that in that way. Well, that's better. Perfect. Now we wire it. Just gonna put the top on here first so that I don't knock something over. Okay, now we'll wire this sucker. Pretty snug on the wiring here. Like that is so close to there, you'd think that would rub through. Not ideal, is it? But there's space. And again, soldering it up. Something like that. Make sure that's still on good. This is the only thing I know like. Not much I can do about it. So it's going back in. Snug. And then I put a mark where the pipes came in, and then it drops right on. These screws are different spaces, so it won't drop in the right way, a different way. All right, 10 million nuts and bolts, or washers and nuts, sorry. Should I test it before we... Yeah, and in doing that, let's do a quick test. Plug in the pump. I put a plastic pipe on here. We'll just dump it into a container down there. We need a tether. Oh yeah, she's pumping. Perfect. Now we'll tighten everything down. That was nice and quiet. We'll tighten everything down and then take it for a test drive. one missing. I did drop one. Going on the hunt for another one. And now we got clearance. I think we're ready for a test fire. Here we go. And gas gauge is working. It's time for a trip down to the lake. I'm gonna leave that open so I can see inside. I hear water running. Okay, let's go for a test drive. And back at the lake we go again. We're gonna have to let it warm up, because that's what happened last time. When they warmed up, they went bad. Back to the trailer we go. They did a little bit of investigating why these pumps are different. This is the OEM replacement. Looks exactly like the original. So you can just pop the other one out, pop this one in. This is a high performance one. I've had really good luck with this. That machine runs mint now with this one and didn't run so good with this one. The only thing is you got to change the filter and that rubber housing at the bottom that comes with the kit. There she is, all put back together and ready to go. That replacement fuel pump worked mint. The brand new one that they got was faulty, so I get a lot of this. People are like, no, we replaced the fuel pump and it's fine. But if you're getting that same symptom, that chugging, bogging out, all that stuff, that's what it is. It's definitely a fuel pump issue. You have to throw the gauges on it. You saw as soon as we threw the gauges on it, it was fluctuating like crazy. Seems like there's lots of pressure. You can put your thumb over the end of the fuel pump and turn it on and it'll spray. But at the end of the day, you put the gauges on, the gauges don't lie unless you got bad gauges. And that resolved the problem and this thing runs mint. The only issue is where he broke the tab on the clip that holds the plug to the computer. I zip tied it to squish it in, to hold it in. That may be an issue. Eventually that may have to be replaced. But outside of that, that machine runs mint. So anywho, appreciate you watching. And if you got any issues with chugging, you know what to try. Thanks for watching.